Hello and welcome to all of our old friends and new witches that are joining us. And even if you're not a new witch and are just wanting to add some spark back into your craft, you're in the right place. So today, you might hear my cat, who is being very whiny over here. He's upset that we're not going outside just yet, but we will. I promise we're going out in just a minute, and you're coming with us. So, today we're going to start with the roots. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the history of paganism. And when you think about paganism, you may think of all the fun stuff. The candles, the jars, the herbs, the crystals. But witchcraft wasn't always that fancy. The roots of paganism and witchcraft run deep in all of us, all over the world. And long before there were crystal shops and herbal catalogs, before candles were even invented, before any religion or holy books you can think of, there was witchcraft. And this may sound ridiculous if you imagine witchcraft to be a modern practice that relies on candles and books of power and crystals and tools, but the truth is that witchcraft at its core isn't really that glamorous. It's just understanding and working with the energies of the earth. Now, the earth provides everything that we need to survive. Everything, the food, the water, the air. But also, it has its share of dangers to offer. And our earliest ancestors learned that survival is much more likely if you know the earth well and work with its cycles and energies. Now, we learned how and when to plant crops, and we knew the importance of the harvest season. Women knew the ways of the moon, its cycles, they knew of healing and childbirth, which herbs could heal and which herbs could kill. Men studied the movements of herd animals and worked closely with other animals to domesticate them so that we would be sure to have food through the winter. For our pagan ancestors, the divine, the gods, the cosmic enchilada, whatever you want to call them, they weren't somewhere watching us from afar or sitting on a cloud judging our every move. They were right here, right with us in the daily struggles and triumphs and the soil that provided our life and our food. They were in the water that could either nourish our crops or destroy them. They were by our side to share comfort and wisdom as the women of the tribes ushered new lives into the world and prepared the dead for their last journey. They guided the men while hunting with the hope that no one would have to go without food. The gods were always there in every aspect of life, and they still are. We simply don't live as close to the earth and its mysteries as we used to, but you can still hear their call and still feel the stirring in the earth around you. And in this journey through our year and a day of studies, we'll be answering that call and learning to work closely with those energies. Now, these are the ancient roots of paganism and witchcraft as we know it today. And yes, it seems very different from what we're used to with all of the ingredients and the tools and the bottles and the tarot cards, the fun stuff. But witchcraft wasn't viewed as something fun. It was literally a matter of life and death. It was critical to know when to plant your crops. It wasn't just about celebrating the moon, but it was important to know when the moon was going to be full so that you could see well enough to go hunting at night, to know when the tide was coming in and going to wash your crops away. Now, we don't have those concerns these days. We've moved very far from being an agricultural society, and we have very convenient grocery stores that we can pop into and see what's in season. And many of us don't have to really go outside for anything since we have a nice comfy air-conditioned house and Netflix, and I'm being honest, is not a bad thing. It just means that we've lost a little bit of that connection because it's not dire to our survival. But this doesn't mean that you have to pack up your things and go live in a yurt in the woods. It just means that you have to make a conscious effort. You have to decide that you want to work with the earth's energies. You have to make the choice to go out and forge that connection with the earth. So today, I invite you to get to know the earth a little bit better. So let's get down and dirty. Let's go outside, let's get messy, let's go hang out with the earth for a bit. I'm going, Shadow's going, and you're invited to come with us. So let's go outside and find a nice green patch of grass, a dark, rich, dirt-buckled swath of dirt to plant our feet in. Maybe a cool stone formation that calls to you, or a really cozy tree to sit under. That's what I liked to do when I was a kid. I'd always find a tree and go sit under it and chill with the tree for a bit. Rub your hands across the surface of the stone, wiggle your toes through the grass. Feel the bark on the tree. What does the air smell like this time of year? Get out in it. And when you find a comfy spot, sit down and feel the weight of your body on the land. Breathe deeply and allow the earth to hold you because this is where you belong. Welcome home. Find somewhere comfortable to sit in a natural setting, and this can be anywhere. It can be your favorite beach along the river, in a forest, or a field, or even your own backyard. Anywhere outside is perfect. Get comfortable, breathe deeply, and close your eyes. And as you sit, imagine that you have roots. Little roots that extend from the base of your spine, and these roots not only reach down into the earth, but they spread out into everything on it, all across the earth. Imagine that this vast network of roots connects you to all humans, animals, plants, objects. Take a moment to feel the pulse of your connection to the great all. Pay attention to that connection for a moment and notice where things might feel stronger, where you really vibe with certain objects, or where it might feel weaker and you're having trouble sensing that connection. You can spend a few moments. You can spend an hour here, as long as you want. Simply feel and enjoy that connection.